Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Christine with Patter Crafts, and today I'm going to make this little shaker card with you. The supplies, most of the supplies we'll be using, these sequins here, these are from Pretty Pink Posh. I believe the name of this was Sweet Pea. Also using this stamp set from My Favorite Things called Adorable Elephant. We'll be using a couple of the images from this stamp set. Also using up my 6x6 pattern papers that I have been hoarding. This paper pad is so beautiful, but it's time to use it. I can't keep hoarding all these beautiful papers. Time to use them. I have not seen this one in their store. I believe I bought it last year, like last spring. So I'm not sure if it's available, but if you saw it about a year ago and picked it up, isn't it beautiful? And for our card base, we're going to be using the grape jelly cardstock. This is a sampler pack. There are 41 sheets of heavyweight cardstock. It's 100-pound cardstock. I usually like to use 110-pound cardstock, but 100-pound is okay too, especially since I want to start using colored cardstock. So again, this is the card we're going to be making. Other than the images will be a little bit different. I mean, from the same stamp set, but what I tend to do is cut out a bunch of images, color them when I have some time, and then put cards together. Because sometimes, you know, I just don't have an idea for a card, but I want to be productive and I want to do something crafty, so that's a good use of my time other than sitting here staring at the desk. I don't know if any of you guys have done that, but yeah, that is what I have done. Okay, so we're going to be making this card. I have cut out everything we're going to need. This is going to be the inside of our card. And then for the front of this card, here's our card base. Cut out our little scrap part that the shaker panel will be looking into. Here's a piece of acetate. Our little elephant who's going to go on the front of this card, and his little purple balloon. And then I have these pieces here. I wanted to use the scallop circle, but I don't know, I just wanted to define the scallop part a little bit, so we cut this piece out here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is put our acetate sheet on here, acetate sheet. I buy these in 12 by 12 sheets. I haven't really found them down here in Florida. I haven't looked either, because when I went up to Vermont to visit my family, my sister, where she lives, they just put an AC Moore in at the time. And I bought a bunch of it to bring home because I was having such a hard time. I had actually gone into Michael's at one point and asked them for the acetate sheet, and she brought me to the Shrinky Dinks. You remember those things when you were kids and you would color and like your mom would put them in the oven and they would shrink down? Well, anyway, that's what she thought I meant. So I stocked up on a bunch of this. I'm sure you can find it in any craft store online, or maybe some of your other local shops. I find in my area, places like Michael's and Joann, they're so limited to what they carry for paper craft. It's like 2 aisles. Michael's might have 3, but it's like an entire aisle is paper and then an entire aisle is stickers. and then they'll have an entire aisle of like planner type stuff, and then like sporadically other little things. So and our Joann's, just, I swear, every time I go in there, the section gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Anyway, I can tend to ramble on. I apologize. So I've put this on a block to just let that wet glue dry there for right now. And actually, I think I'm going to put the inside panel part together. So when I'm using colored cardstock or black cardstock, I like to put in this little white piece so that you can write easily on it. I think it just also gives the card a finished look. It's what I like. So I always try to do a little something on the inside, but I mean, not always. Sometimes you just can't always do that. All right, we're going to put this little guy right here. So we have our inside part done. I'm going to grab our little piece here that's on really well. Now I'm going to add this little piece. So I'm going to again get my Tombow Mono Glue. This stuff lasts forever. My bottle is very well used. It's actually to the point where it's almost kind of sticky on the outside. And I'm always like, oh, but I've got to be almost done, and I don't bother cleaning it. Well, surprise! So in order to fit this in there, I kind of just go into one little part till it fits, and then if it fits there, it'll fit everywhere. Again, I'm going to just put this little block there and move that to the side for a moment. So I'm just going to I cut this little piece just enough to kind of fill the window with a little bit extra. That way it doesn't have to be exactly. I'm going to just pull this over here. I don't think this tape runner was meant, like the refill was meant for that particular runner, because it doesn't work very well. Alright, so I'm going to put this right here. And then while I'm putting things together, I'm just going to attach this inside piece. Alright, so let's kind of center him, put him in there. Alright, so we are just about done with that part. Now for the fun part. Now I have all this foam that I bought. I bought it from Joann Fabrics a while ago. It was like in the clearance section, and I had seen some crafters use it when they're adding dimension to their cards or for shaker cards, and I was like, oh, that's going to be amazing. Mine does have adhesive on one side. I know you can get it without it, and it is very nice. It is very easy to use, and it's a lot less expensive than the 3M foam tape. I much prefer the 3M foam tape, but I will use this because I bought it. I bought the colored foam again because it was on clearance. The thing I don't like about it is it does show on your cards, so I always feel like I have to match the foam to like either the card base or like whatever paper I'm putting it on, and I find that mostly, more than anything, just kind of annoying. I probably won't buy it again. I would buy the foam again, but I would probably just buy like the regular white foam again. Here, this. I definitely cut this piece too long, but I have a tendency sometimes to cut it too short. I have yet to figure out the right way to handle that, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to put some of these little foam pieces here. One thing I don't really like about the foam is it's going to be difficult for me to put the tape runner on these little foam pieces. I find that when it's already on the card like that, it's hard to put this on. If it's on the side like this, or if the piece is big enough, I can get the tape runner on there, but it doesn't like to, I don't know, you'll probably see me fiddle with it a little bit when I try to put this on. Okay. And I think for the most part it's because sometimes it doesn't want to stick to the foam. Of course, it's not going to do it just because I told you it does. All right. If I'm using this stuff to put, like, just to add dimension, I usually do it this way. It's easier. I can put the tape runner right down on the paper itself, or it's easier to put it on the foam when it's not attached to it. I don't know, maybe it's just user. Maybe it's just the user. And also, like, if you notice here, it's starting to like curl, whereas down here it's not curling. And that's because of the way, like on this part, I use the tape runner and put the adhesive side down to put onto the card base. Card base is a little sturdier, so it doesn't tend to do that. But again, just a little, it doesn't much matter. All right, so I'm gonna put my shaker bits right in there. And then I'm gonna turn this around. We're going to add that down. Now I'm going to have to kind of move those around a little bit and get those loosened up. It's the one downside of doing it that way, but I'm not very good about centering it, you know, from the other direction. Okay. So now for our little elephant, we are just going to add some liquid glue onto him. And we're going to stick him right about here. And then we're going to take his balloon, add a little glue. And add that right there. So then I'm going to put this on it for a few minutes. So when you kind of can get elements together that you might want to do when you make a card together, when you're not sure what you want to do for a card, like you know, maybe stamping, cutting and coloring your images, or maybe even cutting down some of your card stock, it definitely makes making a card a little bit faster and easier. So if you need one right away, or if like you just want to make a whole bunch at one time, it definitely helps me when I'm in like a slump, like a little creative slump, and I'm not sure what I want to do. But anyway, here is this card, very similar to this card. So those are the shaker cards for today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button. But until next time, bye.